Memphis Lakers. Memphis as the 2, Lakers as the 7. No Steven Adams, no Brendan Clark for Memphis. We'll see kind of what their big man rotation looks like. Will Ja Morant be distracted by countersuing a teenager? We will see. Dylan Brooks and LeBron, Shannon Sharp, Anthony Davis playing.
I thought our show
incredibly
was
this
called
year.
Just Basketball, but this series is challenging us.
The series is where like the pro wrestling element of pro sports like really seeps into all of this. Do you know how many times I've seen like a clip on Instagram of like LeBron like talking back to the Grizzlies, being like not like just him getting like I keep seeing this clip of LeBron being like annoyed with the Grizzlies this year for like the amount of crap they talk and him just like I'm not having it.
Did you see
And,
the
like,
flex answer he gave the Athletic post-game after
Yes.
the play-in where he was like, haven't thought about the Grizzlies at all. Here's 10 minutes. There's your column for you, sir.
Yeah. Love LeBron.
King.
Love him. This series is going to be a barn burner, and where I go is what is Anthony Davis's impact in this series? Because I think this series is about Anthony Davis versus Jaren Jackson Jr., and I think it is how dominant can Anthony Davis be. Because if Anthony Davis is dominant and wins that matchup and like doesn't have issues with getting a shot blocked or getting in foul trouble or whatever, or gets injured, fingers crossed, the Lakers are going to win this series if Anthony Davis shows up and does Anthony the version of Anthony Davis we've seen for a large chunk of this year. If that guy is here and it can do that against Triple J, the Lakers have to feel really great about this matchup.
Yep, we have a similar thing again here, but I think this is very much, I guess, just who we are. I have a little bit more specific version that probably was too specific, but I had what do the Grizzlies try to take away from Anthony Davis? Because obviously the first take version of this is AD going to stay healthy? Is he going to be reliable? Is he going to be, falling on the ground and being a crybaby and all the nonsense that gets thrown his way? And then on the Grizzlies side, the obvious counter to that is Jaren Jackson's going to foul him too much. And is JJJ the rightful DPOY after his, 6 foul performance in game 2? Like we can forecast this all out. It's pretty obvious. Like you said, it's going to be very delicious storylines, which honestly kudos to the Grizzlies, being the sexy team to debate and dissect, and not always for the right reasons, but look at them go. So with what do they take away from Anthony Davis? I think the obvious thing for me is I don't think Xavier Tillman is the answer. I think they're going to have to get creative, but I also think you don't want to let AD isolate on Triple J too much. Right. And so because of the fouls and because, if you can avoid it, you don't always want to have your best defender guarding the best offensive player 48 minutes because that's exhausting and hard to deal with. So I think you have to get creative. Can you put Jaren on a non-shooter when the Lakers have one out there, Vanderbilt or Hachimura or somebody like that? And then maybe you bring a player like Aldama onto the court, Santi Aldama, their backup 4, or even Zaire Williams, who got healthy toward the very end of the season. I don't think he can guard Davis, but maybe he can guard LeBron, and then maybe Dylan Brooks guards Anthony Davis, and then you have Jaren as a helper for when Davis does drive in that face-up stuff that he loves or the pick-and-pop stuff. You have Jaren there to take away his space, try to block his shot, rotate, and make him give the ball up at the basket. I think that's how much the Grizzlies are going to have to adjust here. And that's not even to mention, as you get later into the series, assuming LeBron can kick it into high gear and you have to deal with that whole thing. So that's my question is kind of what's the chess match defensively on Memphis's side to try to take Davis's scoring away? Because I agree. If he averages 30 plus, the Lakers, it might not even be close, frankly.
And look, I don't think they're going to have a great answer for LeBron over the course of this series. I'm sorry, Dylan Brooks is a good defender. He's not slowing down LeBron. He's just not. Then that's going to be a thing they have to give up. But on the flip side, I think the Lakers will have problems at times with Ja Morant. I like Austin Reeves. I don't know if he's staying in front of the speed of Morant. I don't know if Dennis Schroeder's going to lock in on that, and that's going to create some problems. And does that get easy dunks for Triple J? Does that lead to open shots for Bane and some of their other shooting? I think there's all these different weaknesses both teams could push on the other, and it's also just going to be chippy at the same time.
Grizzlies are favored in this series on BetMGM.
What are the odds?
They are minus 140 favorites. Pretty interesting. But the most likely series outcome by implied likelihood with the odds is 7 games. So basically the market on BetMGM is saying Grizzlies in 7. I don't think that's crazy. I think on the Grizzlies side, to me, this has to be an amazing Ja series. Like, he has to beat Davis on switches. He has to get the Lakers into foul trouble, especially their stars if he can, their best players, push the tempo at all times. The Lakers were a bottom 5 transition defense this season. They've been a little better since the trade deadline. I think Vanderbilt and other guys like that helped there. But if Ja can be great, that'll give them, if Ja has to be amazing offensively for them to have any shot. Let me put it that way. So I don't think it's crazy to think Memphis could win. 7 is probably how they would have to do it, winning a game 7 at home against the Lakers. But it feels like we're both leaning Lakers, also because we already talked about this, I think, on a previous episode.
I'm going Lakers in 6. Do I feel good about it? No, but I'm gonna go Lakers in 6.
I have Lakers in 6 too. It's one of those weird series where the better team is the road team, so winning in 6 actually is winning at home, and so that's part of why I went that way. But yeah, I think they definitely can win this series, and there's a version of it where it's pretty bad for Memphis, I think.